Hey everyone, ready for another deep dive?
Always ready.
Today we're heading to the Arabian Peninsula.
Oh, interesting. What's on the agenda?
Camels.
Camels.
You heard that right. Specifically, their relationship with humans.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
We're pulling our info from an article by Turkey al in the Saudi Arabian newspaper Okaz.
All right. What's this Aldakill saying?
Well, buckle up because he proposes that for thousands of years, camels and humans had this unspoken social contract.
Social contract between humans and camels. That's
Mm.
that's a bold claim.
It is, right? But stick with me, it gets really interesting.
Okay, you've got my attention. Lay it on me.
So Aldakil kicks things off by saying that for over 4,000 years, nothing, and I mean nothing, held a higher status in Arabian society than the camel.
Wow, 4,000 years. That's a long time.
I know, right? Longer than some civilizations have even existed.
So how does he back up such a bold claim like that?
He dives into the Arabic language itself. Get this, the word for camel doesn't even distinguish between singular or plural, male or female. It's just camel.
Huh, I never thought about it that way.
It's like the language itself is acknowledging the camel's, total importance.
Yeah, I see what you mean, like this all-encompassing force of nature kind of thing.
Right. And it gets even better. The author describes a camel's gait not as arrogant, but as absolute reassurance in this ancient contract.
Oh, that's interesting. So even the way a camel walks was tied into this whole contract idea.
I'm telling you, it's fascinating stuff. So what exactly were the terms of this supposed agreement? What did camels bring to the table, so to speak?
Well, Aldakil suggests that camels provided everything. Protection, transportation, sustenance. They even gave their lives in service to humans.
Wow, talk about a commitment. And in return, what do humans offer?
Respect, appreciation, care. A true partnership, mutual dependence.
I love that. A win-win situation. But let's get specific. What kind of care did humans provide? I mean, did they just give them water and some dates?
This is where it gets really cool.
Mm-hmm.
The article highlights the tradition of hida, which is like singing to camel caravans.
Wait, they sang to their camels?
Yep, to encourage them on their journeys. It paints this picture of a deep bond where humans understood their camels' every whisper and movement.
That's incredible. Did the camels actually get anything out of that? I mean, did they understand the intention behind it?
Well, the article even suggests that Arabic poetry itself might have been influenced by the rhythms of the hida.
Whoa, hold on. Are you saying that the essence of Arab artistic expression could be rooted in camel songs?
That's what Aldakil is proposing. It's pretty mind-blowing, right?
This is definitely a deep dive. I mean, who knew camels could be connected to something as profound as poetry? But I'm sensing a but coming.
Yeah, you're right. The article takes a bit of a turn. It describes the arrival of the automobile.
Ah, the automobile. The game changer.
Exactly. And the author describes it almost mournfully, how the car replaced the camel and essentially broke this ancient bond.
I guess it makes sense, right? Cars are faster, more efficient. But it is kind of heartbreaking to think about this shift.
It is. This creature that was so central to life in the Arabian Peninsula for millennia, just fading into the background.
So how did the camels react to being replaced, to this sudden change?
Not with anger, not with rebellion. The author describes it as a dignified silence.
A dignified silence, huh? That's a fascinating way to put it. Do you think he's projecting human emotions onto camels? Or is there actually something more to it?
That's a good question. It's hard to say for sure what a camel is thinking, but the author interprets this silence as a sign of respect. Respect for the long history shared with humans, as if the camel understands the changing times and accepts its new role with grace.
That's a really interesting perspective. Makes you wonder about how we view animals and their place in our world. Maybe there's more to their reactions than we realize.
Absolutely. And this leads us to another point. The article explores the many challenges camels faced even before cars came along. The harsh desert environment, predators, all sorts of things.
So not just this idyllic partnership then. There were struggles too.
Oh yeah, plenty.
Yeah.
And the way the camels dealt with those challenges is another layer to this story of resilience and adaptation. Want to hear more?
Definitely. Let's dive into part 2.
So yeah, the article lists all these threats camels faced. Predators like lions,
Yeah.
the harsh desert landscape, you name it. But the interesting thing is it describes the camel's reaction to these threats as almost Indifference.
Indifference, really. So, like, a lion is charging at them, and they're just like, meh.
Pretty much. The author even says that, like, when faced with danger, camels would just glance at the threat and they continue on their way. Like it wasn't even a real obstacle.
Wow, talk about confidence. I guess when you've been navigating the desert for centuries, a lion doesn't seem so intimidating. But why? Why this fearless attitude?
The author interprets it as, like, a sign of their unwavering focus on their mission, to serve their human partners.
Yeah.
It's like their whole being was dedicated to fulfilling that ancient contract, even in the face of danger.
So, like, lion, psh, gotta get this caravan moving. Humans are waiting.
Exactly. And remember the hida we talked about, singing to the camels? The author suggests that wasn't just for the humans' benefit.
Oh, interesting. You're saying the camels got something out of it, too.
He thinks so. He thinks the camels understood those songs as encouragement, something to keep them motivated on those long, difficult journeys.
So it wasn't just a nice desert serenade. It was practical, too. Wow, this partnership just keeps getting more and more fascinating. But then, of course, came the arrival of the automobile, which, as we said, kind of threw a wrench in things.
Yeah, the car, with its speed and efficiency, it quickly took over, became the primary mode of transportation. Essentially, the camel became obsolete.
And the ancient contract, as the author puts it, was broken. It is sad, though, when you think about it. These animals that were once so revered, so essential, suddenly pushed aside.
It is a poignant image. This creature that played such a crucial role in human survival, in our development, kind of relegated to the sidelines of history.
It almost feels like a breakup, like, hey, I was carrying your world for 4,000 years, and this is how it ends.
Yeah, it definitely makes you think. But the author, he doesn't dwell on the sadness for too long.
Where does he go from there?
He shifts gears and focuses on the camel's silent dignity. Argues that true strength lies in accepting change with grace, even when it means losing your former position.
That's an interesting take. It's like he's using the camel to teach us a broader life lesson about resilience and, adapting to new realities. But isn't it a bit romanticized? Are we really giving camels that much credit?
It's definitely a poetic interpretation, but I think there's something to be said for recognizing the deep connections humans have had with animals throughout history, especially those like the camel that played such a significant role in our development.
I see your point. It reminds us that progress isn't always this smooth, straight line. Sometimes it involves difficult transitions, letting go of things that were once essential. It makes you wonder if there are other social contracts we might be overlooking, or even breaking in our modern world.
That's a powerful thought, and it leads us to the article's conclusion, where the author takes a very thought-provoking turn. He asks the reader to imagine a world where camels could speak.
Okay, now hold on. Let's save that for the grand finale. We've built up enough suspense, I think. Time to unpack those final thoughts and see what insights we can glean from this metaphorical tale of camels and cars and the changing tides of history. Okay, so back to this idea of camels talking. Where's the author going with this?
He asks us to really imagine it. Like, what would camels say if they could actually speak? What stories would they tell about their 4,000-year partnership with humans?
It's a powerful thought, right? It's like he's urging us to consider history from the camel's point of view, a perspective we rarely ever get to hear.
Exactly. It's challenging,
Yeah.
It makes us question our assumptions, acknowledge the agency of creatures we often see as voiceless. What would our history look like through their eyes?
It really makes you reevaluate our relationship with the natural world, not just seeing animals as resources, but as beings with their own experiences and stories.
It reminds us that progress, even when it's beneficial, can come at a cost. And sometimes that cost is paid by those who can't speak for themselves.
So we've gone from camels as symbols of strength and resilience to pondering their silent narratives. This deep dive has definitely taken us on a journey. But what's the takeaway here? What's the author ultimately trying to say?
I think he's using the camel's story as a metaphor, to encourage us to look deeper, to recognize the complex relationships between humans and the natural world. He's reminding us that even small changes can have these huge ripple effects on history and culture.
It's amazing how an article about camels can spark such profound thoughts. It's really a testament to the power of metaphors, isn't it?
It is. And it also highlights the importance of diverse perspectives.
Yeah.
Whose voices are we not hearing? What can we learn by listening to those who are often ignored?
Those are questions we should all be asking ourselves, not just about camels, but about all the the creatures and cultures we share this planet with. And to our listeners out there, we want to hear from you. What resonated with you most in this exploration of camels and their place in Arabian society? In a world increasingly dominated by technology, are there other social contracts we might be overlooking? Or even breaking? Let us know. Until next time, keep diving deep.